Welcome back to Spilling the Tea to Juliet G on Supreme Radio UK. We are currently talking about suicide awareness amongst black men. We should avoid suggesting suicide is inevitable for any community and should emphasize support, preventative and hope. Now, if you would like to have your say, you can WhatsApp, call or even send a WhatsApp message to +44 7958 674099. And the question that was asked was, how can men support one another beyond jokes, everyday banter, and begin having deeper and more honest conversations? So go ahead, I think Kevin.
Yeah, sorry, David. What? I'm not sure if David said previously about being a role model without being a role model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah. So I've been inspired recently. So one of my recent inspirations is the married men around me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't need to tell me how to be a married man. I just like observing their marriages. Right? And I'm like, you know what? I like that. I like that because that's what I want to do. They don't need to tell me. I just observe it. Yeah, I observe how they interact with their wife. I observe how they deal with conflict resolution. I observe all of that, how they congratulate their wife or celebrate their life or or collaborate with their wife. So that's a role model without being a role model, right? And I love that. And sometimes in life, the best way that we can help our loved one, friends, whoever, is just being good within ourselves, being ethical within ourselves, doing certain things that makes them say, I want to be like that. And I think sometimes instead of telling people what to do, just exhibit it, demonstrate it within your own world, and it will come across. People will see those kind of things and they will mimic that behavior.
Yeah, I would say, do you know what? I'm going to push back a little bit against this question because I think the way black men talk, banter's important. I think jokes are important, but I think as a friend, there also has to be a level of, are you all right? What's going on? I know we're joking about this, but well, how are you actually feeling about that? Like, what's actually going on? Again, we go back to the word fine, right? I'm fine. And sometimes you have to peel the layer back of I'm fine or the joke. You have to peel the layer back of it. If someone's joking about, I lost my job, I'm going to be broke for the next couple months. Oh, no, yeah. Like, how are you actually feeling about that? How are you actually doing? Don't lose the banter and the joke aspect of that relationship because that's part of a relationship, right? But sometimes look beyond the joke. Look behind the joke. Like try, and I'm not asking everyone to be a therapist here, but sometimes ask a serious question about that joke or about that funny thing.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what? There's something that niggles me within that. Not what you're saying, by the way. I'm talking about when it comes to how we banter as a community, because like you've got comedy shows where it'd be like Jamaicans versus Nigerians or Nigerians versus Ghanaians, and then there's all these kind of generalization jokes about each other. And I think as much as sometimes those public jokes are hilarious, I think sometimes it causes division and a lack of connection as well. And I think as a community, we need to be mindful sometimes how we have public jokes against each other, because I think that can also cause disconnect as well. Because I've noticed that within our communities, like, oh my gosh, Nigerians, you're like this. And then after a while, people's like, do you know what? That stigma, let's make that stick with them. So it's like, can I trust Nigerians with ... Jamaicans, you're like this. So I think as a community, we also have to have a fine line between how we banter amongst each other from a cultural perspective, because it can cause division as well.
But what you've done there is, I totally agree with you. You've peeled the layer back beyond the joke. So I think that's the point I'm making, is if your friend is we're talking about the question of like beyond jokes. I'm saying, how do you go beyond the joke with that
Mm-hmm.
your friend is having? You've gone beyond the joke where you're saying, do you know what? All Ghanaians are this and all Nigerians are that. If you go beyond it, actually, some of these are causing divisions. Some of these people
Mm-hmm.
actually really believe it, but we're just laughing about it. So I'm saying, go beyond that joke of, the missus is on me. She's always chatting, man. Bro,
Mm.
what's going on, man? I can't, like, you said that a couple of times today. Like, is everything all right? So you go beyond the joke.
Yeah. Yes, brilliant. I love that. You're right. You're spot on. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Right. So, what should someone do when they genuinely believe that a friend or relative may be in immediate danger?
You're,
David,
you're cutting out.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna,
you cut out there, Juliet.
David, I'm gonna ask you this question first. Yeah. What should someone do when they genuinely believe that a friend or relative may be in immediate danger?
David, I think that's you, but I think you did cut out again, Juliet. So it's a bit hard for David to dissect.
Did Did you hear me, David?
Uh, yeah, can you say it one more time, please?
What should someone do when they genuinely believe that a friend or relative may be in immediate danger?
I
Okay, what
think
should they do if someone, if a friend or relative is in immediate danger?
Yeah.
I think they should be kind to themselves first and understand whatever they do, if it came from a clean heart, let's just use that perspective rather than trying to get too deep. Whatever they do in that moment, they felt for themselves that was the right thing to do. It's not a difficult question, but I'm I'm thinking about it too difficultly. So
Kevin?
there are factors they can do. Reach out to someone who may know someone within the industry. Obviously, there are services they can call outside, like 118, 111, 999. There are, Samaritans and all the other services, without naming specific ones, that they could call, which they can Google. So there are factual things they can do. I think the number one for the person who has someone who may be going through a difficult situation is give themselves a moment to dissect what's going on, which would allow them to use, getting a little bit technical here, get them to use their frontal lobe, so to be conscious about their decision in what they choose to do next regarding the information they have. I hope that makes sense.
This is Jamie. I think
Yeah.
for me, it's Dave said it, but I think if I'm just going to be like strict within the question here. If we're talking about immediate danger, I think you have to assess what it is, and as I think Dave said it, you have to, and I know it's difficult. It's easier said than done. You almost have to be calm in that situation. You have to. Do I call 111? Do I call 999? Right. So it's for you. It's just about trying to be rational and calm within that situation. Because obviously, if it's immediate danger, you panicking is almost going to make the situation a bit worse. But I think obviously just we're lucky, we're in England, we've got these services 111 and 999. I just also want to say something, that the NHS South London have, the start of July, they started a new WhatsApp service. So if there's anyone listening, there's a new NHS WhatsApp service where you can reach out to them on WhatsApp, and I think that's really, really important for people to know. I'm not sure the number, I don't have it on my hand, but if you Google South London WhatsApp NHS, I'm pretty sure it will come up. So it's something, again, if there is a immediate danger, you might be able to use that service to reach out. But obviously 111.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I just
So
say, sorry, Kevin, if anybody is wondering how to handle such a situation, Samaritans advise to clearly ask with compassion, are you having thoughts of suicide? As that does not create suicidal thoughts, but it gives someone permission to speak honestly. That's the advice that Samaritans give. Doing my research. Kevin?
yeah. So sorry, I've got a prior engagement, so I'm going to jump up after this if you don't mind. My
Yeah.
deepest apologies for an appointment. Stated before. So what I would say is, to be honest, I think already been said. To be honest, I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'd answer the next question. I'll be the first, and I'll jump off because
Okay.
I think it's been covered. Yeah.
How can we continue checking in on someone after the initial crisis rather than assuming that one conversation can solve everything?
Yeah, good question. Very, very good question. What I would say is, and it's kind of connected to the previous question because I was going to answer, but it's kind of intertwined. It's connected together in a sense. What I would say is, for those who have got the capacity to deal with it, because this is heavy, and sometimes to put it on another person who might be going through things as well, it also can tip them over the edge. It's very heavy, right? The world of mental health is probably one of the heaviest conversations you could have on this planet, right? Alongside climate change and all these other things. So it's a really heavy conversation and subject, right? What I would say is, back to the WhatsApp group, of the NHS. I think sometimes you should have a WhatsApp group with just like the close ones. So if there's an emergency, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, that person could just send a WhatsApp to say, for example, guys, I don't know today. I don't know if I can do this. I'm struggling. I'm going through this. So I think sometimes you should have, I call it a circle of confidence. Have a circle of confidence that you send that message to as a group chat, and that group chat jumps into action, because sometimes, three minds is better than one at times, for the best part. And so I think that we should have like a WhatsApp group. I've got like a WhatsApp group with my loved ones that if there's a moment, I jump into action. I'm like, guys, here's what's going on. I call it my mastermind group, or some people may call it their cabinet, or the circle of confidence. And I think that needs to be in place when someone's struggling, where they say, right, listen, you're his best friend, you're his girlfriend, you're his mother, you're his whatever. Let's all have a WhatsApp group, and if they are having a moment or a crisis, they can just message a group, and we can all interact together in real time.
That's
David
helpful.
here. Understand your qualities and your capabilities, and stay within that. What I mean by that is, your qualities and your capabilities regarding that situation may be good enough for what that person needs with what you have. To not to overbear yourself, or to overpromise, overcomplicate what you can do, may be also detrimental for that person, because you've set a benchmark which, in a moment of care and in a moment of help for that person, you may have overreached. So now there's an expectation subconsciously from that person that, oh, but you could do that, or you made me feel like you could do that part, and you may not be able to do that part. So understand your qualities and understand your capabilities within what and how you can help.
But David, isn't the suggestion that Kevin made just then about having a circle of people, so that they can, like, one head is better, two heads are better than one, so that, if it's not down to that individual, it's like you said, understanding your capabilities, but also, you can call upon other people for support.
Yes, because each individual may have their own qualities.
But what
And
also we all know that unless you're in immediate danger or immediate crisis, help can take a long time. So
yes,
you're pulling on the resources of the people around you.
one of the best sources of help in continuing checking in on someone is to say, I can't help you with that bit, but I might know someone who can, or I know a place where you can go for that, and helping them or getting them to that place rather than taking it on as if you can help them with that part, whatever that part may be.
Yeah, and the reason why I agree with that is because, like, for example, I don't work with children. And the reason why I don't work with children is because children are more of a long-term relationship. You can't just jump in to help them. They get attached to you, then you jump out. But maybe you're going to cause rejection issues and abandonment issues, and that they may be really already dealing with. So because of the way that I do my work, I don't work with children because I don't work long-term from that perspective. Once again, knowing that I can cause more damage than a benefit to someone, regardless, just because of my actions alone, not my methods or my theories or my practice or my exercises, but because I can't commit. And so, regardless what we know, sometimes it's our level of commitment that can cause more pain than pleasure for that person. But listen, I've got to jump off. I've got to get to this appointment. But thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the guys. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.
Take care, Kevin.
Okay. God bless.
Bye.
So much.
Like Kevin said, he doesn't work with young children and the attachment and abandonment, but it's like your network of people. And like you said, David, you might not be able to support that person, but you'll be able to steer them on to someone else that can.
Yes.
And that is really helpful. And that's helpful for anybody that is listening in, because sometimes they might be in a situation and they don't know where to turn. So, it's like, yeah, maybe we can create a circle, a support network, so that when something is happening, the burden doesn't only fall down to me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What does recovery or learning to live with difficult emotions look like in real life?
The thing that comes to mind is I always talk about, again, I'm going to use my pizza analogy, your toppings, i.e., your self care. What's your self care? See, when we're talking about recovery, right? What's your self care? What's the things you do for yourself? So we've spoken about haircuts today, and when you get a haircut, you get that endorphin boost of, nah, I'm lit, I'm feeling good, right? When you go and go to the gym, you get that endorphin boost of, oh, I'm feeling great. So I always say, when you're in recovery, that's the time to not be complacent. That's the time to keep on doing all of them self-care. If you're going to therapy, keep that up. If you're in that WhatsApp group you're talking about, keep talking in that. If you're meeting your friend for lunch or your uncle or your cousin, keep doing that. If you want to go and have a night out, do that. So I think it's about the self-care things that you do to keep giving yourself that boost, right? And I always say, it doesn't have to cost money. It's free to go to the library and get a book if that's what you like. It's free to go to the National History Museum. I know some of the museums are free. It's free to go to the park and do a 20-minute walk, right? So I'm just saying, like, keep up with that self-care. Keep looking after yourself, because what you're doing by that is you're showing yourself, I love me. I care for me. I'm going to continue on this journey. So just keep doing that self-care.
Excellent.
Yes, totally. There's a saying which I live by, which is, it's not about me, but it's all about me. And with that second part is, I'm not able to do the things I'm doing if I don't put myself within the category of helping others at the same time. Going for the walk, waking up early, having that time, being also self-aware. I'll be honest, there was a moment even in today's what we're doing here in this space is, for this might sound silly to some, but when I used the word brethren when I was talking to about my friend and when he was going through a hospital issue, a health issue, and I used the word brethren, instantly there was a part of me that was like, that's not the right word to use, David, as I was talking. And internally, I then was dissecting it as I was saying, as I was finishing what I was saying regarding that segment. And I just had to be kind to myself and said, well, you've said it and it's actually okay. So it's about really being kind to yourself and being aware in ways and how you can be kind to yourself. Because a lot of the time we haven't been kind. The person, the man, the black man hasn't been kind to himself. So it's how can we really be kind to himself and then find, as Jamie said, find those toppings. What do those toppings look like? Because they're all different for everyone.
That's the important thing that Dave said there is be kind to yourself. We all have negative thoughts and we all have that voice telling us you can't, you're not good enough. But what about the counteracting statement? It's a CBT exercise called rationalizing your negative thought. Okay, what about if you can though? What about if that thing you're telling yourself you don't deserve? What about if you do deserve it? So Dave hit the nail on the head. Within that recovery journey, you have to be kind to yourself. You're not perfect. Things are not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Whatever you're recovering from, you might fall back into that. You're going to have down days. But I always say, if you're on a bus and the bus is on diversion, the bus doesn't just stop and go back to where it came from. It might go a longer route round, but it's still going forward. So look at it that way. Within your recovery journey, there's going to be diversions, there's going to be bumps in the road, but you're still moving forwards. If you have a down day, that doesn't mean you're back at square one, right? I'll give you another analogy. If I'm playing football and my team is winning 10-0 and the other team score, I'm not bothered. We're still 10-1 up. But what happens within the recovery journey is when you're winning 10-0, you're doing 10 good things for yourself. You're doing great, but you have a bad day. A lot of people tend to think, I'm back at square one. You're not. The other team scored is 10-1, but you're still 10-1 up. So I think you have to remember where you are. Take time to remember where you are and be kind to yourself, like Dave said.
Yeah, excellent. Now, what do you think should be said directly to black men listening in today who feel that everybody depends on him, but he has nobody to lean on?
I would just say, I understand you. I would say, I would, I lead with empathy. I understand you. And I would say, is there any way where you can find your tribe? I don't know what form that's going to come in, but is there any way you can find that support system that you can trust, that support system who will be there for you? Is there any way you can, reach out to, the person who you support, or reach out to your missus and say, this is how I'm feeling, or your mom, whoever it is, that person who you feel is going to have enough empathy for you? Can I do that? But my words to them is, I hear you and I see you.
I'm trying not to be overly practitioner here in my answer, but I would add to Jamie, which was, yeah, definitely spot on. I would add, I would give them a moment. I'd give them a moment of silence, which is also Silence, silence is not silence. Silence is actually something being said in that moment, if done correctly. Where what do you think should be said? Sometimes nothing needs to be said. Sometimes the silence needs to be said to allow that black man listening, who feels like everybody depends on them, that hey, in this moment that we're having, you can lean on me with this space, this moment of silence that we're having, and then start to direct and allow them, give them that empathy, that autonomy, and then stand beside them. Because some people don't want directing. They just want someone to feel like they're. When you think about the word lean on, so that means they're leaning to some angle. Can you stand beside them where they can actually be feeling as if they can lean on you? I'm not saying they should lean on you. That's different. But the feeling of being able to be, the feeling of having someone standing there where they can lean on them. Because if you think about it, if something's leaning, they need supporting in some way. So that's what I would say.
Right. We're actually coming up to that all-important community break. I know we haven't had one, but when we come back, we will just be summing up. It's the last segment of the show, so it will be short and sweet, okay? Welcome back to the last segment of the show, Spilling the Tea to Juliet G on Supreme Radio UK. We've been talking about suicide awareness amongst black men with our special guests, Jamie Martin and David Smith, and my co-host, Kevin Bennett, who has had to leave through because he had prior engagements. And they have been offering their professional expertise. And this is the last segment of the show, and we don't have long left. So I have two questions to ask you guys before we end the show. What is one small step that can be taken before this program ends to let somebody know he needs support?
One small step to let someone know that they need support was that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would say? I'm just thinking about it. I would say, do you know what? Understand that within yourself. So this step I'm saying is something to do within yourself. Is that it's okay. It's actually okay, because if we're talking about how reaching out can be seen as weakness within the black male community, I want you to understand that, you know what you're going through, it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you're not this bad, less than human being. It's okay, because I feel like when you come to that peace within yourself that this is okay, it makes it easier for you to then reach out. So I would just say take time, sit with yourself, and understand it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you in terms of what you're going through. You're a human being. You're okay. Your mental health might not be in the greatest of space, but that's okay. And then what's the step you take after that, which might involve reaching out? So yeah, it's okay.
David?
I would allow that man to understand whatever's gone on before that, whatever decisions, whatever thoughts they had, whatever they were going through, yeah, it was right. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying their experience was okay. I'm not saying their experience was right, but they're here. They managed to get here. So there was something that worked for them. But now you're here. What do we need to do to the next step? Because clearly something has not worked to that point where now we're in front of each other, or now we're on the phone together, or now we're having that text message conversation. So what do we need to do for that step? And there's something very important in that question, is the next small step. I hope that answered it.
Yeah. Right, before we end the show, there is a message of hope that I would quietly like to leave for whoever may not yet feel ready to speak but needs to know that his life matters. Now, for UK listeners, Samaritans can be reached free of charge day or night by calling 116 123. That's 116 123. And Calm's helpline is also a free helpline. It's 0800 58 58 58. That's 0800 58 58 58. But they open from 5 p.m. till midnight daily. Anyone needing urgent mental health can call NHS 111 and select the mental health option. Now, if someone is in immediate danger, please call 999. And just a point of reference, according to the latest ONS ethnic analysis, covers a complex picture and does not show black men as having the highest overall ethnic group suicide rate. So although men overall continue to die by suicide at a substantially higher rate than women, it's not black men. They're not the highest rate. Is there anything that you'd like to say before I let you go, David?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for inviting us on today, this morning. I do appreciate it. It's been fantastic. So there's just a short story. I don't want to take applaudance or the award for it, but I wrote it out this morning, and I think it's quite telling for today's segment. So it'll take me about 30 seconds. True story, black man. There's this man, right? And he speaks about anger, and they call him vile and violent. Then he speaks about fear, and they say, oh, he's soft. Then he talks about boundaries, and they say, oh, he's really insecure. Then he speaks about sadness, and they say, oh, he's a coward. So he stops speaking, and they say, oh, he's cold. He's just become really cold. Then finally, this black man, he asks for help, and they say, that's a weakness. Now here's the punchline, the real kicker. The man disappears. He did, under the weight of being not able to say what he wants or what he needs. So if you're listening, and here's the real kicker, then they whisper, he should have spoken up. True story.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to share that.
You're welcome. Jamie?
Yeah, I would just say, as all the black men listening, and whether there's women as well, but I would just say you're not alone. And I know sometimes it feels like you're alone when you're going through that thing that you're going through. And I think you're not. And I want you to realize you're not. There's organizations. You've just read out the Samaritans. There's Calm. There's NHS 111. There's that WhatsApp service that I spoke about. There's places where you can go and you can get some really good support. And yeah, I would just say you're not alone. And before you think about doing anything, or I would say try to reach out, see how that feels, try to talk to someone, see how that feels, see if that works for you. And that's it really. I would just say, like, you're not alone.
Thank you, Jamie. As we come to the end of today's show, I'd like to thank all the people that have contributed to this discussion. My co-host Kevin Bennett and the special guests Jamie Martin and David Smith for sharing their knowledge and professional insight into such an important subject. And we will continue to talk about this. This is not a one-off. We will talk about it in the future. Today's conversation has reminded us that behind the words, "I'm fine," there may be pain, fear, loneliness, and emotional exhaustion that nobody else can see. Now, to every black man listening, you don't always have to be the strong one. You are allowed to feel, you are allowed to speak, and you are allowed to ask for support. Your struggles do not make you weak, and you are never a burden. So let us all make a commitment to check on the men in our lives, not just with a quick, "Are you okay?" but by creating the time and space to hear honest answers. And remember, listening without judgment could be the beginning of somebody receiving the support they need. One caring conversation really can make a difference. So if today's discussion has affected you, or you're struggling or need someone to listen, please contact Samaritans. They're available day or night on 116123. That's 116123. And thank you again, Jamie and David. Thank you very much.
And thank you.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. A very, very powerful conversation that needs to be discussed, and we will continue. And as a radio station, we will always do our bit. So if there's any topics that you want discussed, want raised, you want to remain anonymous, that's fine. Just message me, send me a text message or WhatsApp message on +44 7958 674099, and I will try my hardest to get the professional people in to give professional advice. Now, next week, Saturday, we will be in conversation with Charmaine Miller. Now, she is a black adoption social worker, a facilitator, and a community organizer. Now, I know you're all intrigued and thinking, how can one human being wear so many hats? Well, like I say, each and every week, you don't want to miss this. Make sure you set your alarm clocks from now and put it in your planner or your diary. Now, coming up next, we have DJ Amorous in for our very own boss lady, LaJ. From 2 till 4 is the man with a plan, that's TLC. And 4 till 6, we have TJ Sting in. Yes, people, TJ Sting fans, he is in today. Hopefully it does not change. Now, 6 till 8, you are in for a treat this weekend as Booga Bugatti will be in for WJ Good Groove. And 8 till 10, we have DJ Tubbs from the More Love family. And 10 till midnight, we have DJ Squeaky. And midnight till 2 a.m., we have Uncle Nuts until he says so. Oops. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the Saturday stroke Sunday morning presenter lineup. So keep it supreme. Now, you can follow Supreme FM on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What else again? Oh, and you can even connect it up to Alexa. And you can follow me on Instagram. That's Spilling the Tea to Juliet G to get show updates, notifications about the show, Mixcloud. To listen to past shows, that's Juliet_G, and YouTube, it's at Juliet G, all one word, _ the T. And now on TikTok, it's Juliet_G. And please don't forget to press the follow buttons where you'll get immediate notification when I upload the shows, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and do the same to Supreme. Now, if you found today's show helpful, make sure you share the love with your family and your friends, and don't forget to download the Supreme Radio UK app from your app store so you can listen to Supreme anywhere in the world. And you can follow Supreme on Facebook and Instagram. And keep talking, keep listening, keep checking in, and never forget you matter, you are valued, and you are not alone. Please make sure you continue supporting, as every guest's journey deserves an audience. Yes. So live your life, love your life, and enjoy your life. And on that note, to you, the listeners, thank you for tuning in to this morning's show. Apologies for the technical hiccup earlier, but that will be rectified on the upload. So if you feel that it had cut out, it hadn't cut out, it is recording, and you can hear the full show on Mixcloud or YouTube. Okay? So it's the same time next week for your Saturday morning fix. Have a blessed day, have a safe day, and make it an absolutely spectacular day, whoever you choose to spend it with. And if you can't be good, be careful. This is your host, Juliet G. So it's bye from me. Take care and keep it supreme. Hashtag spilling the tea. Hashtag Kevin B. Hashtag Juliet G.